So, welcome back, everybody, to the fifth episode of our Life and Suffering of Sir Brante. We've just entered year 1135, which is our second year of adulthood. We are now 17. In the last episode, we got to engage in debauchery, witness some political tension, witness an Arcanian murder the fencing master or the swords master of the club we went to because we decided we are going to pursue the valor route, like the valor and diplomacy, and judge for reasons I articulated in the last episode. So here we are at year 1135, spring, the Code of Laws. And without further ado, let's get right back into it. So, you're on the way to the largest library in Eterna to study for your entry exams. It's right next to the college. The streets are full of people. Everybody's excited. You hesitate for a few seconds. Then, let the curiosity get the better of you and head towards the place where you will soon study. Before long, you hear the shouting. The great chancellor is about to give a speech about the future of the empire. You cannot possibly miss this. You mix with the crowd and soon find a convenient place to listen and watch what is about to unfold. On the steps of the college, you see a small tribune guarded by two Arcanians armed with swords. This is the first time you have ever seen an Arcanian standing guard, let alone two of them. The doors of the college open to reveal a stately Arcanian surrounded by an honor guard. It is he, Cornelius Tempest, Great Chancellor of the Empire, younger brother to the Emperor himself. He heads for the tribune and casts a look over the square. It is full of people in awe and utter silence. Long ago, humans witnessed the Arcanians' arrival. The two nations built the empires side by side. The provinces joined us one by one, and Magra was the final province to attain the absolute might and majesty of the blessed Arcanian Empire. Yet, there was another great event long before that. 4 centuries ago, the twins had graced us with their presence. With their arrival, the twins granted us their will. They showed us their love and their law. They granted us knowledge of what awaits us in the hereafter. They chose the dynasty of Tempest to rule the empire, and from that day forth our dynasty has ruled the land, ordained by the gods themselves. Oh, good old divine rule that nobody can confirm except by word. Subjugating people to your will by their beliefs in storytelling and desire to find reassurance and understanding in this complicated world. Moving on, though. However, it is our duty to the twins not to seek power for power's sake, but rather to lead the empire to further prosperity. And so, the Great Imperial Council is soon to review and adopt a new set of laws called the Creed. Under the Creed, all states will be granted rights. Under the Creed, there will be one law for all Imperial citizens to obey. Human or Arcanian, from the lowliest commoner to the Emperor himself. The strife among the states will end. A single law will resolve all of our quarrels. Sure, bro. Glory to the Emperor. The great chancellor throws his arms in the air. The crowd murmurs and applauds in approval. Cornelius Tempest casts another look over the crowd and leaves. The crowd disperses. The sounds of agitated discussion are everywhere. Is it true that the Emperor's dynasty seeks to grant equal rights to all the state? What will happen to the Empire then? Oop, we're going into the struggle for power, which again, it makes sense because we are going to be the one to help decide whether we get commoners in power or nobility in power. I like it goes from commoners in power to reign of terror, dude, which does not fall from the truth. I believe without any structure in this world, if it was just commoners ruling, you would lead to rule by there would be mob rule. It would be near anarchy, reign of terror, and you would end up leading to leaders consolidating their power in order to gain the advantage, and then you lead to factions, and then, oh my god, you're back where you started, and you've accomplished nothing. So yeah, I probably want to stay in like the 1 to 2 range. I think is healthy. You know, you have a structure, but the commoners still have enough influence, regard rather than absolute monarchy or anarchy. In my opinion, at least. Let me know what you think down in the comments. So, the girl from your past. It is early morning. You've been awake since sunrise, studying. There is a knock at the door. It is a letter from home. Or is it a hotel servant? You open the door and freeze, stunned. Hello, Brante. Sophia. Ooh, she looks. What does she currently think of us? Doop, boop, boop. We're tat with this one? Oh, I don't have Sophia even on here. Okay. Hello, Brante. Before you stand Sophia, the girl who used to live next door. She's all grown up now. She looks so different, but you'd always recognize those blue eyes no matter what. You gesture for her to come in. Sophia enters the room, glances around, and sits in an armchair. You eye the girl you used to know as you sit across from her. But the young woman you see now has little in common with the girl you used to know. There's cold steel in the way she looks at things. Her hair is cut short. Well, what is she doing? I like her hair is cut short. She's obviously a rebellious teen, hates everybody. Okay, you can have short hairs and not be rebellious. You can have short hairs because you just like it, and that's who you think best fits you or something like that. Regard, you don't have to be edgy, but expectations. But what is she doing here? Not to say that those short hair can represent that, but I think it's just too simplifying to say her hair is cut short following there is cold steel in the way she looks at things. I can explain. I've been living in Eterna for a long time now, ever since I ran away from Anazote. I heard the other day that you'd left for the capital to begin the college. So I found you, and here I am. You ask how Sophia learned about your arrival and where you're staying, but she answers your question with an enigmatic smile. We'll get to that later. Right now, I want to see how much you've changed since we last saw each other. As for me, I've changed a lot. I'm a whole different person now. You look away as you recall your previous encounter, back when Sophia ran away from her Canian master. Sophia chuckles as she continues. Would you like to know what happened next? I traveled through the entire empire, all alone. I had nothing. My journey ended only when I reached this place, the capital, with all its important people and events. This is the heart of the empire. It's a place where I can make a difference. I've made my friends here, found people I can truly call my family. I've even gotten an education of sorts. And I have a purpose now. I fight against injustice. I fight against the lots. I fight against those who treat our lives like mud on the pavement. And no, I'm not afraid to tell you that. I came to you for a good reason. I need help. I know you. I have faith in your good heart. And besides, this is also about the Imperial College you want to enroll in. There is a scholar there by the name of Bartholomew Dextra. He teaches natural sciences at the college. Dextra is an old man, but he's quite progressive. He'll stop at nothing to advance science and acquire new knowledge. Spooky, dude. Spooky. As you know, only second-generation nobles or above are allowed to teach at the college. But Dextra? He is a commoner. He forged his patent of nobility to get a position at the college. But the secret chancellor recently learned of this. Dextra is about to face true death for this forgery. But how is that justice? A man wants to teach people, and for this they're going to take all his lives? They're going to punish him for the crime of being born in the wrong estate? It's evil and obscene. I will not stand for it. Dextra deserves to be rescued. But I don't want to put anyone in danger, so I need your help. You're from a rich family. You're almost a noble. If you help me get Dexter out of the city, nobody will suspect anything. No one will know, and the scholar will live on to continue his research elsewhere, far away from the secret chancellery. Will you help me? You feel perplexed by Sophia's sudden request. She's asking you to break imperial law and undermine the work of the secret chancellery to save the scholar. Rescuing Dexter will be an adventure, but it will also be incredibly dangerous. And besides, Dexter is a fake noble. He resorted to lies and deceit to get his current position. How much does that matter to you? Sophia's blue eyes are studying you, waiting for your reply. Oh my god, the decisions in this game. So I can help her refuse. I cannot assuage her guilt because she hates me, which makes sense. Makes sense. And that would give me scheming manipulation. I can refuse, which gives me valor and diplomacy, which is what I want to. Oh, fuck. Or I can help her, which gives me scheming and valor. Shit! Well, like, the easy decision, if I'm just thinking about trying to get valor and diplomacy, as I stated earlier, would be this choice. But my moral compass is telling me I need to do this choice. Because, like, sure, he lied to get into this position, but that was because he was stuck with an impossible situation to begin with. And this was his only way to try to make it out of that and do what he wanted to do. So I can't really just blame him entirely for that. So, like, I feel like, oh, this is a situation, like, yes, I want to help him. Yes, like, fundamentally on a human level, I want to help him, but it could look extremely bad for me moving forward if I end up helping him and getting caught. Because this is, I imagine I help her, it's going to lead to more chains of events where it doesn't say here, get caught, blah, 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 blah. But I imagine this is going to go lead to a chain of events which could jeopardize me. In that case, I'd be in deep shit. And she's basically coming to me saying, I need this help with this person. And at the same time, I don't really want to make enemies with Sophia, because this would make her an even further enemy to me. The thing is, she already hates me. She's already embittered. Like, because I turned her over. And the thing is, can you, in your pursuit of justice, can you help every single person? Every single, like, that's a question you have to ask. It's like, is it reasonable to help every single person? And then you ask yourself, is it true justice if you're not helping every single person? But there's only so much time you have. There's only so much you can do as a person. So you have to allocate your resources and realize you might not be able to help everyone. Holy shit, this is a hell of a decision. So, refuse or help? I think I'm gonna help. Like, fuck! I'm gonna help. I can't not help. This might be my heart being too weak, but you promised to help Sophia. Bartholomew Dexter does not deserve this. He has to leave the capital. She can count on you. I don't like how you're saying that. I know I could count on you. Then we must act at once. There's no time to waste. Dexter is to be arrested tomorrow. Here's his address. Go there as the sun sets. No one will suspect you. Dexter often tutors young men for the college entrance exams. Tell him the owl sent you. Use the back door to get out. A carriage will drive up to the backyard. The driver will hoot like an owl. He'll take you to the south gate. If the guards stop the carriage, just talk your way out of it. Once you're outside the city, Dexter will ride away in a different carriage. You'll go back the way you came. I'll meet you in Majesty Square. Oh my god, I'm writing down these instructions. So it's owl, back door, owl carriage, Southgate, talk, different carriage, back the way you came, Majesty Square. Alright. I'm just gonna write that down for myself, just because if it has me make decisions right now, I know in a real situation like this, it's not good to leave potential documentation that you know where you're going along, but I don't have to think about that, because I'm not in this situation. I'm gonna use the advantage of the game. You nod to her words, and your hands start to shake. You are about to go against the secret chancellery. You are about to help someone escape punishment. Defy your own lot like this. It's unthinkable. It's unthinkable. When the sun sets, you leave the lodging house and walk quickly, glancing over your shoulder repeatedly. Bartholomew Dexter's house must be somewhere around here. You find the place. A genteel old man opens the door. His face is covered in wrinkles. His shoulders are stooped, and his eyes are sharp and lively. Bartholomew Dexter looks at you for a moment, then asks why you have paid him a visit. You tell him that you want to enroll in the college and are looking for a tutor. Dexter nods and invites you inside. Once you make sure nobody else can see or hear you, you whisper to the scholar about the real reason for your visit. The secret chancellor will be coming for him tomorrow, and he has to leave now to escape true death. Dexter freezes, then turns to you. How do you know about him in the secret chancellery? You tell him that the owl sent you and has provided for his escape. As for the secret chancellery, they want him for forging a patent of nobility. The moment you utter Sophia's name, the lecturer calms down and starts packing for the journey. You watch him distractedly and notice that he lives in a rather austere fashion. It doesn't take him long to pack. You hear the quiet clacking of hoofs in the yard. Carefully, you and Dexter proceed to the backyard of the building. You see a carriage there. The driver hoots quietly. You get in. The carriage rolls down the road. There's tense silence in the squared-off space inside the carriage. The scholar wrings his hand anxiously. Through the carriage windows, you see the massive city gate passing by. You're almost outside the city, but then you hear a loud voice reach you. Halt! The driver obediently halts the carriage. Two city gendarmes approach you. You leave the carriage to face the gendarmes before they can peek inside the carriage. They look you over and ask where you're going so late at night. You tell them that you are the son of a judge in Magra, here to enroll in the college, and right now you wish to visit the estate of a newfound friend. You convince them further. You mention the name of a noble son you become friendly with. The gendarmes release the carriage and wish you a pleasant visit. You drive along the high road until you encounter a peasant wagon. Dexter will take you to seek refuge far away from the capital. Before the two of you part ways, he pats you on the shoulder and tells you that you have done a truly brave deed. Okay, I didn't need to write anything down, but... You return to the city without incident. You find Sophia in Majesty Square as agreed, sitting on a bench by a streetlight, reading a book of some sort. She closes the book when she sees you and offers you her hand. So did everything go according to plan? You nod. Then we've earned ourselves a bit of free time. Let's go. You set off on a walk through the maze of narrow back streets. Finally, you have some time for questions. What happened to Sophia over the last few years? She was just a girl before, a servant. How is she now a revolutionary? Sophia just smiles, sadly. You've seen what I can do. I'm not just a girl. The Inquisition caught up with me when I ran away from Anazote. I ended up in the House of Humility, a dreadful place. I got collared. Do you know how it feels to lose your free will? Losing everything that makes you you. Yeah, people have their identity, have their free will, the autonomy, the ability to craft their own destiny, and when that takes it away from them, what are they left with? But an animal, but a savage, not to be respected, not to be cared for. It's really a despicable state that we willingly inflict on each other for our own gain. And this is what has become of Sophia, it seems. She unclasped the tall shirt collar that had been hiding her neck all this time, and you see the round mark from the anti-magic collar. They say a scar like this will remain even after a lesser death. But I got lucky. Patriarch Junius Daimon saved me. Daimon took me and the other mages from the House of Humility and removed our collars. He made me one of his attendants. He taught me that there are no lots. He told me that I'm not like this because I'm a freak, but because it's my nature. He told me I can find a path of twins like anyone else in the world. It's interesting. So she's not wholly non-religious. It's that she's just upset with what has become of her due to the religion the way it was. Interesting. I can see that perspective. And then I was taken. I got out on my own. I found my own lot, to protect the common folk from the noble yoke, to help others who are as unlucky as I am, to fight for a different world, a world where everybody has equal rights, a world where mages don't get robbed of their will just because of one aspect of their birth, a world where the nobles no longer tread upon the commoners. Excuse me? Yes, this is our dream, but we are still so far from it. But I'll keep moving towards it, and I'll stop at nothing. A strange, distorted expression appears on Sophia's face, but she quickly returns to normal. You keep walking till you're on your lodging house again. For a moment you just stand there, looking at each other. Then suddenly, Sophia embraces you. For a moment she remains still in your arms and whispers, "You should join my cause. We work together, one day we'll become a force to be reckoned with. I know you came here to find your way, but I'll never believe you really want to bind yourself to the other people's laws and desires for the rest of the world. The path I walk is dangerous. It's almost hopeless, but it's worth living for. Think about it. Goodbye." Yeah, she has a point in wanting to start like a revolution to blow everything up. It's just when you blow everything up, you need to have it so it just doesn't come back to where you started. And what I've seen throughout human history is that, okay, the revolutionaries on their own, like the common folk, likely aren't just they're gonna need support of nobles to be able to pull something off like this. Like embittered nobles for their own reasons, but these nobles have their own agendas. They have their own. They don't want to give up their noble status, I imagine. They just aren't content with a certain situation as a noble for whatever specific reasons for them. So you have so many people converging on a single goal, the revolution, but you have so many conflicting desires of why you're heading to resolution, and unless those are all worked out and agreed upon, it's going to likely lead to just factionating after the revolution's done, assuming you even succeed. So it's probably, I just don't at the end see it's worth the light. I can help her in saving this dude. Like, this dude did not deserve it. He did not deserve what was coming to him. But I can't promote going to revolution. But that's just me. So now she's indifferent to me. Yep. Then she withdraws just as quickly and disappears into the dark streets of Eterna. You make your way to your room, exhausted by the end of the day. Was this really just a single day in your life? We are now a conspirator. And now we are a dangerous enemy now. Nice. Rather than a mediocre fighter. Nice. I wonder if we have to get up to seasoned warrior for the fight, the college fight. Wow, that was quite dramatic. There are only a few days until the Imperial entrance exam. History, law, theology, you spend all day reading and rereading the books you brought with you, studying at the library or Turna for hours, sometimes until it closes. As the day of your exam approaches, your hands start shaking more and more. And finally, the day comes. I forgot to mention, we're at the Three Lots. That is the name of this section, this event. A clear sky hangs over Eternan today. The breeze is warm. You dress in the best outfit, a gray jacket and velvet culotte trousers. You comb your hair carefully and polish your boots until they shine. You leave the lodging house and head for the Imperial College. Your legs grow heavier with each step. Your anxiety at the fact your fate will be decided today is virtually tearing you apart. The college is a majestic building that looks not unlike a castle. In the square in front of it, you can see already several dozen people. Young men, son of nobles of the mantle like you, waiting for the college's door to open. Time slows to a crawl. Like, what I would probably had to say in that moment with her is, yes, I will help you in this instant, but I have no intent to get involved and embroiled within the revolutionary, like, further actions, like leading ambushes and actually performing the necessary things to cause a revolution. But I am okay with helping helpless people and people that don't deserve their fate. At last, the doors open. A stately man dressed in a professor's mantle appears at the entrance. He's the dean of the college. The students to be silent as the dean gets ready to deliver his welcome speech. We're getting into more typos, my dude. But the silence is interrupted by heavy footsteps and clanking armor. A squadron of warriors emerge near the college, led by Arcanian guards. Their banner bears an image of golden grains. The noble militia of Monia province? What are they doing here? The nobles of Monia form a circle around the college, each warrior moving quietly and precisely until a chain is formed. One of the Arcanians is clad in an old-fashioned suit of armor. He is the leader of the militia. He locks the door on the massive doors of the college into place. He locks the door on the massive doors. He locks the bar on the massive doors, then proceeds to the stairs to address the crowd loudly. Commoners, before you stand egregious of the Montague dynasty, Archduke of Monia, by my will, the college is hereby closed, and today's entrance exam is cancelled. Your lowly origins make you unfit for the great honor of rendering service to the Emperor, a right that ought to be available only to the hereditary nobles of the sword. The college reputation has been tarnished. It breeds mock nobles who bear not a trace of noble blood. You belong in the lowly estate, but have forgotten your place. Cornelius Tempest and the other traitors to the Emperor are indulging you in defacing the institution and the nobility for their lowly interests. A noble lot for those of lowly birth. How can this be? I will not stand for the disintegration of the imperial order. Now turn away from the college this instant, and return to the humble trades of your ancestors. Plow your fields, mend your boots, work and suffer by your lot. If any of you dares to set foot upon these stairs, you will be killed at once. The students to be meet the speech with a stunned silence. The crowd in the square is growing, however. The news of the Monian noble militia and the college's closing spreads throughout the street like wildfire. More humans join the crowd, college students, commoners, officials who worked hard to be ennobled. Unrest grows around you. You people calling to rush Archduke Montague's forces, to take control of the college and defend your right to become noble. The Emperor himself gave us this right. We have to fight for it. This is a decisive moment for all of you. The old gentry has challenged you. Will you accept this challenge? In the face of this shameful illegal action by the Archduke forces, you must prove that all of you deserve the noble lot. You will need to break through the cordon, get inside the college, and take control of it. The nobles will never dare hurt you if your presence is strong enough. If you're ready to risk it all and fight for your right to nobility, you will have to lead the charge. People keep coming in the square in the meantime, including students and teachers from the Divine Seminary. The lot of the clergy is to guide others to the right path. When the estates clash, the priests are bound to intervene. The seminary teachers instruct their students to form a line between the noble militia and the outrage. Oh my fuck! Oh, you're gonna have to charge through them. The priests begin to telling the warrior nobles and the riotous commoners to return to the preordained divine wrath, lest they provoke the divine order, lest they provoke the wrath of the gods. The wrath of the gods! As the priests utter these words, the crowd around you disappears. A vision appears before your eyes. The empire is ablaze. You see burning land steeped with pain and despair everywhere you look. Rivers overflowing to extinguish the burning world. You can tell that soil scorched by such fire will never bear fruit again. The gods' given vision demands to be heard, demands to be prophesied to the world. But only a priest may speak to the twins and for the twins. Will you keep it inside, or will you step into the path the twins have revealed to you? Someone shoves you in the back, and you snap out of the vision. You turn around to see a small but decisive troop of commoners moving quickly through the crowd. They are led by Sophia. As soon as she sees you, she signals to them to stop. So, you're here too. Gonna rush the college, are you? Can't you see it already? The laws cannot be trusted. Oh, I gotta sneeze. Choo! No, excuse me. Oh, whoops. They gave you the right to study here just to throw you a bone. When the going gets tough, your masters would take it all away. It's time for you to decide. We are the lotless, and we are not putting up with the system any longer. We will fight for a new world. Are you coming with us, or are you going to submit to them? There are students and professors locked inside the college. Who knows how long Montague will maintain the siege? And what if they start slaughtering people? Neither group of nobles will care what happens to them. We're going to go inside and pull them out. Come with us if you're ready to take control of your own destiny. The tension in the square is palpable, and the situation is about to implode. Students, commoners, nobles of the mantle, followers of the new faith, all of them are gathering their forces to move on the wall of soldiers. They expect the nobles to let them through in mass. Surely they won't start a massacre. The lotless, led by Sophia, prepare to break through the siege to rescue the people in the college. And all the while, the priests preach peace to both sides of the conflict. The college is your only way into the nobility. Only you can fight for your new lot and fulfill your duty to your family. You could organize an offensive strong enough to get into the college and thus seize your lawful right like a true nobleman. Yet the revelation of the wrath of the gods still pulses in your mind. Once revealed, this vision will take you on a different path. Standing with the priests and preaching what you have seen, warning all the dire dangers on the path of warring estates, bringing the twins' word to the people and guiding them to salvation. Could this be your new lot? Sophia and the lotless, they expect you to join their struggle. They're waiting for you to cast off their old ways and the eternal yoke of subservience. If you choose this path, you will not change your lot, and your suffering will continue. But your suffering might just change this world. This is your moment. Your future life will be decided here and now. So I cannot preach my revelation because I have do not have theology or eloquence. I can follow the lawless or break in. Oh my God! Oh, okay. I never mind. I thought they both had to be greater than 10. I was like, Jesus. No, I'm not. I'm gonna follow the path of the nobleman. I do think this is the most. Even though it's not an easy choice, like I've argued, I think it's the only reasonable choice that balances making change and not causing unnecessary despair in the process. So I'm going to follow the path of the nobleman. Sorry, Sophia. This is my path. You get to work. Recalling the books on military tactics you used to study as a boy, you call out to the students and children and nobles around you and assume command. They hear you, and they listen. You stand together in close formation and march towards the weakest link in the line of nobles. More people join you along the way, a veritable phalanx of young men, armed with nothing but determination against the noblemen's swords. The noble militias readies their steel. The Arcanian officer in command of this section halts you and orders you to turn back. You step forward and give your reply. These people are here to study at the college as the Emperor himself has decreed. You have every right to fulfill the imperial law, and any nobles who dare to intervene will be defying Uther Tempest II himself. Your plan works. The officer hesitates when confronted with your words and your vigor. The noble militia is no longer ready to use their swords. This is your chance. You command your forces to focus their advantage in numbers for a singular push, and the militia line breaks. You reach the college gates. More people start running for the breach. The nobles get their bearing quickly enough to restore the line, but your phalanx is already inside. You waste no time and begin barricading the gate. The students who are stuck inside the college run towards you. You quickly tell them your plan. Block all the doors and windows with whatever comes to mind before Montague's forces can get inside. If they do get in, only the twins know what they will do. One by one, all the entrances are swiftly barricaded. The riot outside the college has calmed for a moment, it seems. Through an open window you hear Montague giving orders to the militia. The Archduke is forming a strong perimeter outside the college, ready for a proper siege. Students and professors of the college go to the balcony to negotiate. You are among them. Surrender and leave this building. I'm not here to kill or execute you. No loyal subjects will die by my hand. The humans boo and jeer at Montague's proposal. The dean himself appears on the balcony. The imperial family established the college, he claims, and he cannot defy orders given by the great Arcanian Tempest dynasty. And so the college remains besieged. The noble militia stands in a circle around the building, but there are no preparations for an assault. The outrage in the square continues. You remain in control of the college for the entire day and the following night, but at sunrise the Emperor's herald arrives in the square. He brings news. The Emperor is delighted to see Archduke Montague in the capital. Yet he demands that the noble militia Ammonia vacate the square and allow classes to begin at the college. Like, I love the political. He's delighted to see him in his capital. But, get the fuck out. The besieged college celebrates the news. Like, the thing is, Cornelius Tempest obviously seems like a good dude at this point, but I've no doubt he has nefarious purposes behind his actions, and I'm interested to find out. This is the work of Cornelius Tempest, great chancellor, the Emperor's brother. He managed to convince the Emperor to order Montague to withdraw. Even the Archduke of Monia, the most powerful noble lord in all the Empire, cannot disobey a direct order from the Emperor. Still, the college would never have held out for an entire day without your phalanx determination and your daring plan. You, the people of the common state, have secured your right to study and earn the noble lot. The college is open again, and the entrance exam will take place in a few days. You aren't nervous at all this time. All the lessons at home, the books, the schooling, your noble actions, all that work and effort has finally reached its culmination. The procedure for appointing a provincial overseer, the 5 great Arcanian dynasties, the property rights of all estates. You answer all of these questions with ease. Hours passed, and the dean of the college reads the names of the new students to the young men gathered at the college steps. Your name is among the first. He praises what you did in defense of the college. People like you are the Empire's future, Sir Brante, he says. Sunlight fills the college square. It feels so soft and soothing here in Eterna, not as harsh as it gets in Anzote. You watch the pillars shine in the sky as you walk down the steps of the college. You are a Brante, the 3rd judge in the family, the man who will soon join the family's noble blood time. You have seized your right to achieve the nobleman's lot. You should write to your father now. He will be so proud of you. Alright, Path of the Nobleman. We have chosen our path of the rest of the game. Like your father and grandfather, you enroll in the Imperial College, hoping to become a judge and a nobleman of the mantle. Is that the end of the year? That was a pretty momentous event. It makes sense if that was the end of the year. It is not. So we will continue on in this episode because I just don't want to break the store. I don't want to break these years apart. You return to the lodging house one last time to gather your belongings for a move to your new home. A young man dressed in the uniform of a military academy greets you by the door. It takes you a moment to recognize Tommas. Your friend locks you in an embrace. Brante! Hey! How are you? I heard about the nasty stuff that went down in the college square. Those damn gentry would do anything to keep low-born folks under their thumb. Glad the situation resolved itself. As for me, I'm an academy cadet now. He is beaming with pride. You invite him in and chat while you pack. Tommas continues to relay the news as you walk up the stairs. I made it into the top 10. Can you imagine? Did pretty well in sparring and the sciences. It was all thanks to the help you gave me back in the school in Anazote. I'll be studying the art of war now. And then it's a quick march to a noble title. How about you? You tell Tommas about what happened over the past few days and of the path you have chosen. He remains quiet as you speak. Both of you realize that you may never see each other again. You know, Brante, here's what I think. You may have your own path in life, but you're my friend. We're going to make sure our friendship lasts forever, no matter what happens to us. Here, I bought 2 brass rings. If the old tradition is to be believed, both the rings and the wearers will always remain close to each other, no matter where fate takes them. What do you say? The two of you grew side by side. Tommas, the audacious, hot-blooded, sharp-tongued boy who used to live next door. You still can't imagine your childhood without him. But what would be right to promise him that friendship will last forever, no matter what happens? Two rings of plain brass lie in his open palm. If you wear these rings, you'll be bound for the ties of friendship for the rest of your life. So the only 2 options we have are swear an oath of friendship or keep things as they are. So, what is the difference of this one? Swear. There's no difference between these 2, except that you just need to have the Panther Nobleman to swear an oath of friendship. Keep things as they are. The thing is, this is tough. Because I could see, we're both on the nobleman's path now. That's the thing. But I could end up seeing, in this world, us end up leading the 2 different factions of the noblemen. Like the noblemen split and Tommas takes one and I take the other. And in which case we would be embittered enemies. But I think regardless of what happens, even if that happens, we'll still be friends, even if we are bitter enemies. I think we can be both, and I think this could definitely come in more useful later, as I can now rely on Tommas to always have my back, or Tommas, as I've been calling it. It could be Tom. It's probably actually Tommas, but I've been calling him Tommas, so I'm gonna keep calling him Tommas. So we'll swear an oath of friendship. You take one of the rings from his outstretched palms. The 2 of you have walked side by side ever since you were children. Even now you are walking in the same direction towards a noble title. You as a judge and Tommas as a warrior. Nothing will ever tarnish your bond. You swear an oath of eternal friendship to Tommas. Tommas solemnly swears the same. You put the brass ring on your pinky. A perfect fit. Tommas follows suit. He starts beaming again. Now we're friends forever, for all eternity. We gotta celebrate this. Come now. I know a place. I gotta show you tastiest meat I've ever tried, Brante. My treat. The 2 of you go to a noble salon by the square of Emperor Severin. Surrounded by tobacco smoke and meat bottles, you wag your tongues, recall the days of your adolescence, and make plans for the future. Nobody knows what could be waiting for you, but you promise you'll never lose sight of each other. Your friendship is strong enough to stand the test of time. There we go. So now we're unbreakable friends. Like, it's obviously in this situation I can't foresee all the possibilities in the future, but I'm looking ahead and I see a greater probability that I benefit from being good friends with Tommas than I am bitter enemies, like him not liking me as much. So I think that was the primary reason. I think it's the better move overall to increase my probabilities rather than constrict them. But it is constrictory in its own way, in its own sense. But it's the relative levels of constriction that I'm primarily considering rather than absolute levels. So we are bonded by friendship. Alrighty, moving on. Oh, we still have more to go. A letter from home, year 1135, fall. As soon as you're accepted in the Imperial College, you send a letter back home. The family replies quickly. Their letter arrives in under a week. Most of it is covered with your father's handwriting. I am proud of you, my son, and I believe your grandfather takes pride in you too. You brought our family one step closer to being emboldened by the sword. You make an excellent judge. I have complete faith in your intellect and your will. You shall bring glory to our family. Stefan, congratulations follows your father's. Oh, what was the fucking annoying... Oh, I didn't have that hybrid. It was the Kermit-ass voice. You're attracted to... I don't know. What was the voice? God, I don't remember all the voices I did for all these characters. Oh, you're attracted to this voice, honey? I think that was it. Congratulations, brother! The simple folk can only dream of what you have already achieved. You can thank father and grandfather for this opportunity, but it was you who proved yourself worthy. Once you receive your new lot, you and I will be equals at last. Then some words of praise from Mother and Nathan. You have brought your father much joy and made him proud, and I am witness to this. You now walk this path all thanks to him. Yet it saddens me that you did not consider the divine seminary, where you could have dedicated your life to our gods as well as the Empire himself. Oh, Mom, sorry. You worked hard for this. We'll hold a big feast in your honor back home. I hope you achieved all you've ever wanted. And at the very end, there's a small note from your sister. Congratulations. Good luck. Oh, he's a big fan. He's a big fan. Oh, big fan. Not as big of a fan. The ball. It is only a few days since you became a student at the college. Your education has barely begun when an amazing piece of news surprises all the students. Every year, Cornelius Tempest, the great chancellor and the emperor's younger brother, grants an honor to all future nobles of the mantle and invites them to his masquerade at his summer palace. The professors and lecturers instruct you to look and act your best in order to preserve the college's honor. They tell you more about the ball, too. All who attended from the college must prove themselves with word or deeds to the members of the great Arcanian dynasties that will be present there. That means the reputation of your home province will be at stake, too. It's time you get ready. You order a proper suit for the occasion and a mask to go with it. It looks simple, but by no means plain, and only hides your eyes. The day comes. You spend an entire morning preparing for the ball. Your fellow students give you hints about how to attach the cuffs, keep the collar straight, and make sure your hair remains coiffed for the entire night. Soon, the carriages start flocking to Cornelius Tempest's summer palace. The tall, ornate outer fence surrounds a sprawling garden in full bloom. The marble-paved driveway is so wide that it can accommodate 2 rows of carriages. You and your fellow students walk up the massive stairs to the front door of the palace. You see it tiny and incordious against the background of this scenic grandeur. The Master of Ceremonies instructs all newcomers to seek their provenance coat of arms. You seek the banner of Magra from far away, depicting the silver tree digging its roots into the murky gray soil. Below, it is a banner bearing the coat of arms of the Milenitis dynasty. It turns out students from the colleges were not the only ones invited to the party. You see academy cadets light up beneath the banners too. And Tommas is among them! A wide grin appears on his face when he sees you go under the banner of Magra. I just knew you'd be here today, pal. What can I say? Congratulations, student. As for me, I'm not so bad off myself, see? The military academy is father and mother to me now. It's father and mother to me now. His merry speech is interrupted by a tall, proud Arcanian in a heavy cloak. You recognize him. He's Dorius Otten, Sophia's former master. Make way for... What was my voice for him? I don't remember. God, there's too many voices in this game for me to do them all. Make way for your commander's soldiery. Last time you saw Otten, he was searching the back streets of Anazo by your house for a girl servant. But now the young Arcadian's uniform betrays his high standing. He is young, yet he's already the province's commander. Who puts him in charge of all the military forces of Magra at such an age? What's wrong? You know him or something? A brief description of Otten is enough to wipe the smile off his face. You see no other high-ranking officials bearing the colors of Magra at this party. It seems Dorius Otten will be the main representative of your province tonight. You watch the other college students and academy cadets line up under the provincial banners. The blue and silver banner of Arcania, the Emperor's own province, is in the very center of the hall. Judging by the hilts jutting out from beneath their belts, many of those who surround that banner are nobles of the sword. Tommas is clearly jealous. The group from Arcania stands proudly, emboldened by the iconic and dignified history. The Arcanian race and the Emperor originated in their very lands, which is why the names are so similar and hard to differentiate. A sizable groups of students stand under the banner of Monia, a wealthy agricultural province signified by yellow grains on a field of ore. The wealth of the young man beneath this banner is plain to see. Their attire is on par with the Arcadians in terms of luxury, and perhaps even more vibrant in terms of color. The most numerous group at the party stands under the banner of Elria, a yellow griffin against a field of azure. All the Elrians are clothed in well-tailored suits with a minimum of decoration. Some of them wear gloves. Most of them come from wealthy industrial family, and it seems many of them will feel more at ease in their family factory than a noble party like this one, which is why they probably cover their hands so you can't see their hand because then stand out. 3 banners represent the northern provinces of Fiona, Hermia, and Castana. These banners, like the groups associated with them, stand together. The Royal Tepes dynasty oversees all 3 of them. The students and cadets are clearly well off, yet they are dressed in modest, functional garments to honor the austere traditions of the North. And finally, the smallest of the group is represented by an open book against Field of Argent, Astinia, homeland of the Diamond Dynasty. By the order of Patriarch Junius Diamond, the open book of the new faith has been added to the banner only recently. Nearly all the young men beneath his banner are clothed in academy uniforms. They wear no adornments, but are clad impeccably, with nary a button undone. The embodiment of rigor and restraint. The master of ceremony signals the beginning of the party. It is time for dancing. The first dance is a minuet, and tradition calls for everyone to dance. Harpsichord music fills the hall. The academy cadets waste no time finding dance partners, and soon already making the fluid first steps of the minuet. Take a look around. One of the young ladies represent Magra catches your eye. She is slender, like all Arcanians, and clothed in a yellow dress embroidered with emerald green. Her face hidden behind a full mask, decorated with bright green feathers. I have a feeling this is the girl we saw before, that with the handkerchief. What happens next seems unbelievable. The enigmatic woman walks towards you. The way she looks at you. The way she walks. The black eyes from beneath the mask watch you closely. She tilts her head. There are no words, but you feel there is a question. Everyone in the hall is startled by a sudden noise. You look behind you and see Tommas getting up off the floor, his face a grimace of rage. Doria's ottoman stands up before him, eyeing him with disgust. His arm rests on the hilt of his sword. Who allowed this clumsy commoner inside the great Chancellor's palace? Its noble masters are trying to dance, and it's getting underfoot. Tommas looks like he's about to explode in Ottoman's face, but the small Arcanian sword is a clear threat. If your friend's rage gets the better of him, he will end up in trouble. The enigmatic Arcanian beauty, however, quickly loses all interest in your quarrel. She comes even closer to you, expecting you to invite her to dance, so we can resolve the quarrel, which makes Dorian Ottoman like me slightly more and gives them manipulation. We can draw Ottoman's ire upon yourself, which gives us an eloquence, a willpower. Tommas likes us and Doria doesn't like us. Or we can dance with the mysterious lady. Yeah, it's Octavius. Bro, honestly, Tommas, you gotta take care of yourself, bro. Like, I know we're friends, like, but I really don't want to get Ottoman pissed off at me. And the thing is, I don't really need it. Do I really want a manipulation? Ottoman likes me slightly more, but the feel like I just want to I feel like just getting more willpower for future decisions and get Octavia Milanitis to like me a little bit more is useful, very useful in itself. So I'm sorry, Tommas, I'm gonna dance. I know we're bros, but you gotta take care of yourself, my man, too. You turn your head towards the Arcanian beauty and offer your hand, taking care not to rush your movements. A moment later, her fingers gracefully come to rest in yours. The masked lady's touch feels electric against your skin. You walk towards the center of the hall, where the other couples are already dancing. You bow, and she makes a curtsy. Her hands are incredibly thin. They seem so delicate. You feel you might snap them if you squeeze too hard. You adjust to her steps, counting the rhythm of the music. Your lady for the dance is Arcanian, a noble born to rule, yet this is a dance where you must take the lead. As you walk around her, your eyes catch an embroidered ornament on the arms of her dress. You spy many thin emerald threads, all interwoven into a pattern of interlocking snakes. This young woman is Octavia Milanitis, daughter to the Archduke of your home province. Yep, didn't see that one coming. The minuet ends. You bow to the lady and offer to accompany her wherever she chooses before the next dance. Why, then be so kind as to accompany me for another dance. Before you know it, the night is almost over. Octavia will not let you go. She does not accept another invitation until she has danced with you 3 times. You spot Tommas in the crowd during a break. He catches your eyes and salutes you with a wine glass. Judging from his lopsided grin, Odman must have had him removed from the dance floor. But any concern for your friend is forgotten when you see the beautiful Octavia approaching you again. Like, I'm sorry, my bro. Like, I'm sorry, my dude. Like, the thing is, in terms of gameplay, too, I need to think about the fact that there's going to likely be tough decisions in the future that are going to be demanding on my willpower to continue. And I need to create a reserve willpower for that. So in a situation like this where I feel like the rewards for acting are minimal, I'm going to take the willpower, and you get Octavia to like me. And I think, she gives me connections and she can be very useful to me. Plus she's hot. There's that, But, I'm thinking more of the connections, to be honest. Oh, no. And we got 20 willpower now. And that brings us to 18 years old. Year 1136. And so, that will bring us to the end of the next episode. So, in this episode, we had a good time. We made some very important decisions to take the path of the nobleman. This is interesting. The game really did force you into a certain path, but I kind of get it from writing. Like, rather than letting a person kind of wade between the path, you kind of force them into one, and it reduces the complexity of the situation. Because this game is already complex enough. There's a lot of writing and a lot of work putting into it, and you can kind of tell that there are some typos coming up, which aren't by any means ruining my experience of the game, but they are slightly annoying, and I hope they patch them out moving forward when they identify them. But yeah, we made that massive decision where we got made a friendship vow with Tommas, and yeah, we're now getting a little bit closer to Octavia. So I'm very curious where this all leaves. So next episode, we'll see. We have the trial of the 50. So we'll see what that means next time. See you all then. Whoops.